Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This one looking at nukes again, and I've called it 33 reasons why nukes are a pile of bollocks. And I'm using 33 because it's a major Freemasonic stamp of their evil doings, basically. So kind of throwing it back at them, but this is in two parts. The first, I'm going to look at 33 code, and then I'm going to examine the bomb blast that went off in Hiroshima that was meant to be a 15 kiloton nuclear weapon. And we'll have a little bit of an analysis. So we'll build up the hoax code, and then we'll look at the real hoax and some of the examples. So let's just launch our fake nuke across here. So here's a Satan II intercontinental ballistic missiles, a Russian one, with a suitable warhead, and I've called that a 33 CB warhead. That's 33 loads of coded bollocks. And of course, Satan II's rocket there has got the Freemasonic floor on there, so almost their stamp straight away on that one. So let's take a look. So part one, the 33s. Now I'm sure I could have got more than this, and this one probably gives it away more than ever. It is, or more than most, it's why it's so hard to make nuclear weapons. Now, it talks about the Hiroshima bomb. We'll talk about that later, being 15 kilotons. Well, 15 is an important number because the square of Saturn, where any row or vertical or diagonal row adds up to 15. It's known as the square of Saturn. Very important number, but also if you divide 1 by 15, look what you get. All the sixes, 666, 666, recurring. But we're here for the 33s. So there's another 15 here, look. So it says, according to the Union of Concerned Scientists, a nuclear bomb needs about 33 pounds. There we go. For 15 kilograms of enriched uranium to be operational. So what does that tell you guys that know anything about 33? But it means it's rubbish. So here's our first 33. So moving on. Here is a Mark 7 nuclear bomb. United States Air Force. And guess what its diameter is? You guessed it, 33 centimeters for our second 33. Here's a Mark 5 nuclear bomb, and this is a little caption that goes here. It says, plutonium production at Hanford, however, was reaching 33 pounds of plutonium per month. So there's our third 33. This one here is a nuclear artillery shell, and its number is W33. So there's our fourth 33 for masonry. Okay, so this is Fat Man. This is a replica of the bomb that was allegedly dropped on Nagasaki. And guess what its length was? You guessed it, 3.3 meters for 33 for masonry. So there is our fifth 33. There's also a 14 here for 2 sevens, blast shield, 21 for 3 sevens for 777. We've got an 88, which is a master number. It can also be 8 plus 8 for a 16 for a 7. But there's other code there, but the main one I'm looking at here is the 33 for masonry. So let's move on to our 633. Well, the president of the US that basically made the decision about dropping the atomic bombs happened to be Harry Truman. Man code obviously in the name, but he was the 33rd president. So no surprise really that 33rd president presided over another one of the mega hoaxes that the Freemasons pull over the general public. So that was our sixth 33. So well on our way now to our grand finale of 33. So let's move on. So here, this is a photograph that you can buy of a fake nuclear explosion. and the company is called Doppelganger 33 Limited, and the photograph you get is 47 by 33 inches. So there's our 733. 33, they get into all kinds of offshoots of the main hoax, which is that nuclear bombs exist. They don't. But there you go, there's our 733. So here we go. This is another one. New Scientist, the day the sky caught fire. And this is talking about southern Siberia. Of course, we've got 2.3 million people for 2 3s for 33 here. And this was the bomb that they ignited. They hung the bomb. Guess how far above the ground on a gallows-shaped rig? 33 metres. So there is our 833. So what have we got now? This is a tsunami bomb tested off New Zealand coast. Basically, they were setting off bombs, and they worked out that 10 large offshore blasts could potentially create a tsunami capable of inundating a city. And how big was that tsunami? You guessed it, 33 feet for masonry. So there's our 9th 33. So here we go. This is the Rio Blanco project, and they detonated 3 by 33 kiloton weapons. So there's our 333, and mainly our 33 for a really good 10th 33. So moving on, this is basically a release of some US intelligence on Russian and Chinese nuclear bombs, and the posting included 33 documents for our 1133. So here we go. These are about nuclear accidents, and these are about broken arrows. Broken arrows, an accident event that involves nuclear weapons which doesn't risk a nuclear conflict between states. And guess how many the US have had? You guessed it, 33 broken arrow incidents. So there is our 12th 33. Okay, so this is talking about the history of US nuclear weapons in South Korea. And guess how many years they've deployed nuclear weapons continuously in South Korea? You guessed it, 33 years in this report. So there we go for our 13th 33. Okay, so this one we've got Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons in Latin America and the Caribbean, whatever that says, treaty. Okay, and guess how many states it's got? You guessed it, it's got 33 member states for our 1433. Okay, so this is about Hiroshima hoax, and here it says 33 photos of the Hiroshima aftermath. So there we go. As we say, they get into all little nooks and crannies of this hoax to build layers and layers of it. So there's our 15th 33, nearly halfway. Okay, so California leads the way in the support of nuclear disarmament, and they have adopted an Assembly Joint Resolution, and that's Resolution 33, would you believe? Of course you believe it, because it's all a load of nonsense, and 33 is one of the key hoax codes. There's 7s as well, but there we go for our 16th 33. Okay, so international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, and they've produced a film, and the duration of that film is 6 minutes 33 seconds. 633 again is a popular number, but I'm looking for the 33, so there's our 1733. Here's another one. Apparently the lovely Americans, 33% of them want to drop a fake bomb on North Korea. So a fake bomb on a fake country. So there is our 18th 33, or 666. Okay, so what have we got next? Of the 33rd anniversary of the South Pacific Nuclear Free Zone Treaty. So there we go for our 1933. So what have we got here? This is an old building that was used to enrich uranium for US nuclear weapons. And the building number was K33, would you believe? So there we go for our 20th, 33. So this is talking about general officer assignments, and this guy's quite high up in the US military, this Barry R. Cornish, and he's basically in charge of homeland defense and nuclear weapons and things like that. And homeland defense and current operations J33 for masonry. So there's our 21st, 33. Okay, sobering film on nuclear attack shows need for more nuclear defense spending. And this Heritage Foundation's documentary is 20 minutes long. Is it 25? Is it 30? No, of course. It's 33 minutes long for masonry. So there's our 22nd, 33. So what have we got now? Oh, we have Rubio leads group of 33 Republican senators in warning President Obama against bypassing Senate on nuclear testing. So there we go for our 23rd, 33. How the death of a US Air Force pilot prevented a nuclear war. And this was when U-2 pilot Rudolph Anderson was allegedly shot down over Cuba, and the target that his plane was assigned, the number, by the, I don't know whether it was a Russian or it was a Soviet military that allegedly tracked it, and the target was number 33. So they put the order out to destroy it. So there we go for our 24th, 33. Here we go. Don't drink the water. Nuclear tests in Kiribati. Guess how many atmospheric nuclear tests they did? They did 33, of course. So there's our 25th, 33. So the effect of US nuclear testing on, what's that, the Marshallese, and basically the largest of the weapons that they exploded was 15 megatons, about 1,000 times the strength of the Hiroshima bomb, and again 15 for our square of Saturn, and our 1/15 for our 0.06666666. But that's another code. But these tests forced the relocation of all the inhabitants of Bikini and Eniwetok atolls, and spread plumes of radioactivity across the cluster of 33 atolls. They've also got a 6.3 billion there for 6 threes for 666 is a 42 with 6 by 7. And the main one I'm looking for, though, is our 2633. Okay, so this is I think it's more like a museum, and it's a Cold War era nuclear missile bunker. And this one is called November 33. So there we go for our 27th 33. So this is H-bomb lost in Spain. So it's a B-52 bomber. Well, you've got 2 and 5 plus 2. You've got 7 there. You've got KC-135 jet tanker. There we've got 11 by 3 for 33. We've got a 70 kiloton hydrogen bomb. And at sea, they had to search for this lost bomb. So guess how many naval vessels they used? Of course, they used 33 for masonry. So there is our 28th 33. Okay, so Nagasaki remembers the atomic bomb victims 73 years on. So here's our 7 code, our 3 7s for 777. But the thing I'm looking for is this peace statue thing here. And guess how high it is? You guessed it, it's 33 feet. So there you go. 433 for masonry, and our 2933. So we've got effective nuclear explosions on the ionosphere. So this nuclear bomb test, this 50 megaton, was detonated at 8 hours, 33 minutes, 33 seconds. So there's our double 33 for masonry. And it talks about frequency of the F2 layer increased by 3.7, whatever that is. But there's our 3 sevens for 777. And the ionograms during the period, particularly at 11:30, 11 threes for 33. But I'm only counting one here, even though we've got 3 33s in this one, for our 30th 33. So nearly there, folks. Can we make it? Well, you know we can. So this one is called 33 Moral Problems of a Scientist, the Atomic Bomb 1942. So there's our 31st 33. 2 more to go. Okay. So here we've got another test. This is a Chinese nuclear test. And this one they detonated 22 kilotons on top of a 330-foot steel tower. So there's our 32nd 33. And to finish off with, the French explode an atomic bomb in the Sahara Desert. And they triggered the device at 7 a.m. So there's our 7 hoax code. And again, just like the Chinese, they used a 330-foot tower to detonate it on. So thank you, Frenchies. There's our 33rd 33. So 33 by 33. I can find a lot more. I could probably make a lot more videos, but I think you get the point there about nukes. Okay, so I've given you 33 very strong clues there that nukes are a load of bollocks. Now, I've just talked code, so I think what we need to do is we need to move on and have a look at the effects of some of these explosions, and we'll focus the second part on the Hiroshima bomb. Okay, so the Hiroshima bomb, this is a model, but this is the bomb called Little Boy. Yeah, mass was 44 kilos, so yeah, interesting there for a master number. Diameters, not much code in this one. 15 kilotons, we've talked about that one before. 63, I think that's terajoules, so there's our 666 straight away. But the Hiroshima bomb was exploded at a height of 580 meters, which is 1870 feet, for maximum effect. The bomb's explosive force then shot directly down to the earth, which is called ground zero, and spread swiftly out to the surrounding hills, and then rebounded back to the city to make even more devastation. So, say this blast is equivalent to 15,000 metric tons of trinitrotoluene, or TNT. So, how big is that bomb? Okay, so what I've tried to do here is, this is America's biggest airdrop bomb, and it's called Massive Ordnance Air Blast, or MOAB, and also called the mother of all bombs. And this thing is pretty big, but more important, it's got a blast yield of 11 tons of TNT. So here's our, this is to scale, here's our little boy here. So one of these is equivalent, if we divide this by 11, to 1,364 of these bombs. Okay, so if we arrange those, and we arrange 2 end to end, it gives us, because they're 30 feet long, so it gives us 70 feet. And if we then line up more of these, so we have 18 rows of 2, we end up with a 70 foot by 70 foot. Now, to get 1,364, we'd have to have 38 layers of this. So we'd end up with this massive tower that's 70 by 70 by 129 feet high, with 1,364 bombs associated with it. Okay, so that's pretty big, and that went off basically 580 meters above ground zero. Now let's have a look at that explosion. So here's the mother of all bombs, or massive ordnance airburst, or whatever it was called, and this is basically 1/1400th of the Hiroshima bomb explosion. So let's take a look at that explosion now. Okay, so pretty big. Imagine multiplying that by 1400 times. Okay, so let's have another look at a TNT blast. So this was an experiment where they moored up 2 naval boats out to sea, and this here is a 500-ton mound of TNT. Now this is 1/30th of the Hiroshima explosion. So let's take a look at that explosion. So it looks very familiar, doesn't it? Just like the nukes. I wonder why. And clearly the blast wave has knocked down the barrage balloons, hit the boats quite hard. See here. Bang, it's knocked the masts off. Look at that. Bear in mind it knocked the masts off. Just think about that when we see the photos of Hiroshima. So it does look very similar to some of the nukes we've seen. Those are the barrage balloons that are torn to shreds by the shock wave. Look at that. And this is the wall of the ship, all bent in, deformed. This wall actually caves in from the blast. There we go. It's lost its radar. And these are all the stones and things hitting the sea. So there you go. So in summary, you saw that massive effect. It blew masts off. It blew the sides in on the superstructure. It did lots and lots of damage to those boats. But those boats, looking at this, was probably, I don't know, what's these, about, I don't know, 500 feet long or something like that. So it was probably 1,000 feet away from this explosion. And we were almost twice that far away for the explosion in Hiroshima, or the alleged explosion, but the bomb was 30 times greater. Can you imagine what would happen to these boats if this was 30 times bigger than that? They would be blown to bits. So you'd expect anything in ground zero to be blown to bits. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is the Atomic Bomb Dome Memorial, and it's basically 580 meters below the detonation point and very, very close. It was almost directly overhead. So this is just showing you what it looks like today and where it is. And this here is the T-bridge that there was allegedly the aiming point for the bomb blast. Okay, so here it is. So here's the T-bridge. This is after the explosion, and I've blown this up to show you it's that building. And what you can see is all these buildings here are basically concrete structures. Now, everything around here that's gone was probably wooden structures, because most Japanese buildings at that time were wooden structures. But what I want you to see is that bomb's gone off. The bridges are still intact. The lights on the bridges are still there. You can see them here. This building is still here. These roofs haven't been blasted down and squashed. There's not debris everywhere. We've got a bomb 30 times more than that TNT explosion going off, just 1,800 feet above it. And these were directly in that blast wave. Why are they still there? Why is there anything there? Why can you see telephone poles there? So here's that building. So just to bring that home, this is where the bomb allegedly detonated. This was the aiming point. here's that structure here. So you imagine this is 1,800 feet. There's not much difference in height, distance between this one, and that bomb's just gone off. All the bridges are intact. All these buildings here are intact. So here it is. So we've got this metal structure here is still intact. It's not bent. It's not been blown in. And we've had that monstrous explosion above. We've got the masts were blown off the ship. Look at this flimsy thing here. It's still there. The trees are there. The telephone poles are there. But they do look burnt. I'll give you that. They do look burnt. And look at this structure. Why is this still standing? Why hasn't this been flattened and obliterated? Look at it. It doesn't make sense to me. After seeing that bomb blast we've just seen. Or 30 times more in it. So here's that structure highlighted. Trees everywhere, telegraph poles, you name it, are still there. They haven't been blown over by the blast. There's one here, look. What's going on? Look at all the trees and things here. Is this just fire damage? Where's the blast? Why isn't this all contorted and smashed in? Why is this still standing? Okay, so here's another showing these roofs. That massive blast has borne down basically on this surface here. This one's fallen in, but these are still there. Even the little huts on the top are still there. But all the wooden structure houses, they've all gone. And here's another photograph. Here's the dome that's still around today. But two buses. They've both landed on their wheels, on the ground, with the rubbish piled up around them. Why haven't these been blown firstly to contorted wrecks, and why are they sitting on their wheels? Have they just been burnt out? Is it fire damage? Makes no sense to me. No sense whatsoever. Okay, so here's a couple of images. Now you might think these are both atomic bombs, but one of them is atomic bomb and one of them is fire damage from firebombing. So I'll give you a clue. We've seen this T-bridge, so this is Hiroshima. This one here is Tokyo, firebombed. Look, does this look the same? There's telegraph poles here, and there's various structures as we've seen in the other one. You can even see lights on the bridge, poles on the bridge. We saw all these as telegraph poles here. This is a firebomb, this isn't a nuke. Just the same as this, look, exactly the same. Why are these bridges still standing when they've had the world's biggest ever explosion by many, 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 many factors blasted overhead? We've had 1,364 mother of all bombs go off. We've had 3,500 tons of TNT exploded above. How can that be? Yeah. So, my conclusion is we've got all the code to show that nukes are fake. We've also got the evidence staring us in the face. From the bomb blast, it doesn't look like it's been decimated by a big bomb. It looks like it's been firebombed. It's exactly the same as Tokyo. So just start to put things together and look at things objectively instead of believing everything you see. So this just summarises it. This one is equal to this. Nukes are a pile of bollocks. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.